I want to share a story with you that really had me cracking up when I was reading it this morning. You guys may know about Fox News host Maria Bartiromo. I've talked about her before. And for me, one of the most interesting things about Maria Bartiromo, who now is just a total pro-Trump propagandist on Fox News and Fox Business, is that she used to be a really good reporter. When I was in my teens and started following the stock market and casually getting into trading stocks and whatnot, I would watch CNBC. I thought I was cool watching CNBC. And Maria Bartiromo would be on there, and she'd be reporting from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, first woman to do so, doing really good interviews with CEOs, holding people accountable, asking tough questions. And she was really a very interesting journalist and reporter. And over the last few years, either because of something that happened mentally or because she really liked the idea of being in Trump's good graces and having direct access to a president or whatever, she became an uncontrolled, unflinching, pro-Trump, brown-nosing sycophant. And it turns out that it's not just a character that she plays on the air. There are new revelations from this upcoming Jonathan Karl book. We've told you about the book already, and there are many interesting revelations in it. That she actually spoke to Donald Trump's former Attorney General William Barr on the phone and went nuts on him about supposed voter fraud committed by Democrats to steal the election from Donald Trump. She really seems to believe this stuff. I want to read through some of the allegations outlined here. New book alleges Fox's Maria Bartiromo shouted at Bill Barr about imagined voter fraud. This is crazy. These are crazy allegations. Former Attorney General Bill Barr says Fox News host Maria Bartiromo called him up screaming about imaginary voter fraud, according to his account in a new book. Betrayal by ABC's chief Washington correspondent John Karl highlights Bartiromo's damaging role as promoter of reckless lies about the election. In the book which comes out today, Karl writes that, quote, Bartiromo had once been a widely respected trailblazing financial journalist. Here's the things I said. She was the first television reporter to report live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Now she had her own show on Fox News, and she was using it to boost a series of unfounded allegations designed to overturn a presidential election. As president, Donald Trump frequently praised her, granted her interviews. Okay. On Sunday, November 8th, one day after Fox and all the major networks said Joe Biden was president-elect, Bartiromo used her Sunday show on the network to highlight the most outlandish allegations of election fraud through an interview with Sidney Powell. Remember Sidney Powell, that completely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs attorney. Powell delivered a fevered rant, Karl wrote, and Bartiromo didn't express 1 ounce of skepticism. It was all a lie, he wrote, but Sidney Powell's deranged theories would have never taken hold if there weren't people in positions of power and influence who had promoted them, people like Maria Bartiromo. Bartiromo comes up several times in Betrayal. In mid-November, according to the book, Bartiromo called Barr to complain that the DOJ hadn't done anything to stop the Democrats from stealing the election. Listen to this. She called me up and she was screaming, Barr told Karl on the record. I yelled back at her. She's lost it. Can you imagine the gall of calling up the attorney general and saying, you're not doing anything to stop this voter fraud, which doesn't exist, of course. Karl said he reached out to Bartiromo for a response because, after all, it's highly inappropriate for a journalist to call the attorney general and demand he do something related to a criminal investigation. Bartiromo did not respond, but a Fox News spokesperson did get back to me and denied Barr's account of the conversation on Bartiromo's behalf. Through the Fox spokesperson, Bartiromo claimed Barr was the aggressive one, yelling and cursing during the call. Well, he'd be justified in doing so if Maria Bartiromo is calling you up and saying, what the hell are you doing? Fox reiterated the same statement in a response to a CNN business inquiry on Sunday. Later in the book, Karl described Bartiromo's program as a shortcut to Trump, saying that Powell had a reliable platform that ensured she could speak directly to the president. Powell's interviews with Bartiromo caught Trump's attention and gave her a direct line to the White House. What an insane situation that Trump White House was in those last few months. Like it was a crazy administration throughout, but in particular, once the election took place and once it became clear that Joe Biden was going to be the next president, all the stops were pulled out. All hell broke loose. Trump having off the record meetings specifically to circumvent presidential records rules, Fox reporters calling up the attorney general and demanding that they investigate something that a reporter thinks they can tell the attorney general to do. Lawyers like Sidney Powell using the media to try to speak to Donald Trump because Donald Trump is known to watch TV all day, every day. Just a complete, it's almost like a childish romper room of sorts. It's hard to even know how to describe it. And of course, wrapped up in all of this are all sorts of possible potential crimes, many of which are being investigated in Georgia by the Southern District of New York, maybe at the federal level, and hopefully we'll find out even 10% of it. I continue to think that actually the further we get from the Trump presidency, the more a lot of this stuff is going to be buried, and we're never really going to know the full scope of it. One of our sponsors is Shaker and Spoon, the monthly cocktail subscription box that delivers ingredients and recipes for artisan cocktails right to you. I've been having fun using Shaker and Spoon to make cocktails at home. One of my favorite is Citrus Paradisi, great blend of vodka, tonic, lime, green tea, and rose. You open up the box, the whole presentation is awesome. They've got all the ingredients except the alcohol and really easy instructions. Even if you know nothing about mixing drinks like me, you're still going to have fun and create drinks that turn out really well. I've been impressed with the results I've gotten with the Shaker and Spoon recipes. You learn a lot about mixing drinks. It's fun to do on a date night. It's a great time, and it makes a perfect gift because you're giving someone a really cool experience. Shaker and Spoon is giving you $20 off when you use promo code PACMAN at checkout. Go to shakerandspoon.com/Pacman, and the link is down below.